Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're tackling something that keeps pretty much every project manager up at night, managing overallocations. We're talking about that delicate, frankly sometimes chaotic, balancing act between time, cost, and the resources you actually have on hand. Because, every project manager knows that sinking feeling, right? You've got this beautifully crafted timeline, and then reality just hits you right in the face when you realize you literally do not have the people or the equipment to pull it off. So let's dive right into this and figure out how we can actually manage this chaos. So picture this. You're managing a massive, complex construction site. You're looking over your schedule, and on paper, it's an absolute masterpiece. But then it hits you. Your plan relies on having 20 hands on deck for a specific day, and you only have 15. What actually happens when those parallel tasks demand more resources than you physically have available? I mean, you can't just magically clone your crew, right? This right here is the core problem of resource overallocation, and it's exactly what we're going to solve today. Here's our roadmap for the explainer. First, we'll cover spotting resource overallocations. Second, the maximum units dilemma. Third, applying resource leveling. Fourth, the impact on duration. And finally, number 5, analyzing the leveling Gantt. Okay, step 1, spotting resource overallocations. Let's look at how to find exactly where our project plans hit the wall of reality. Take a look at this number, 15. In our project management software, 15 represents our maximum units of available helpers. When you're looking at your resource graph view, this number creates this hard, solid black limit line. It is the absolute ceiling of what we have to work with. We planned for a max of 15 helpers in our resource sheet, and that black line is basically shouting at us, do not cross. But, well, here comes the reality check. 17. For 4 consecutive days in early June, specifically June 1st to June 4th, our project is demanding 17 helpers. Why? Because we've got parallel activities, things like different types of excavation, all happening at the exact same time. So we've crossed that black limit line. The software is now throwing a massive red alert at us, signaling a critical overallocation. We are officially short by 2 helpers for 4 whole days. So, as a project manager, how do you systematically track these issues down? It's basically a 3-step workflow. First, you check your resource graph, so you can visually see those peak loads breaking right past that black limit line. Second, you dive into your resource sheet's entry table. By dropping in a peak column, you can directly compare your maximum available units against what you actually need. And third, you check your Gantt chart. The software is going to flag specific activities with a red alert, pointing out exactly where the parallel scheduling is pushing your daily resource requirements way over your limits. Finding those red alerts? That's actually the easy part. Now we move into the critical decision phase, the maximum units dilemma. How do we go about fixing these overallocations? Let's break down the specific shortages we're facing on this project, because it's not just a labor problem. Sure, we have a limit of 15 helpers, but we need 17. But look at the rest of this breakdown. We only have 4 supervisors, but the schedule is demanding 5. We've got 3 JCB excavators, but those parallel tasks require 4. We are stretched incredibly thin across manpower, management, and our heavy machinery. And this brings us to a really stark choice. Do we increase maximum units, like hire more helpers, or do we reschedule activities and wait until resources are free? With general laborers, increasing the max units is usually pretty viable. You can often just go out and hire 2 more helpers to hit that 17. But, and this is a massive but, what about the supervisor? You can't just casually recruit and onboard a brand new supervisor for a random 4-day crunch. And there is no way you can just magically summon another heavy JCB excavator on a moment's notice. When you can't just throw more resources at the problem, your absolute only remaining option is to reschedule. You just have to wait until those resources are free. Which leads us directly to the software's built-in solution for when hiring more resources simply is not an option. Let's talk about applying resource leveling. Let's get really clear on what this means. Resource leveling is automatically adjusting the project schedule so that parallel activities only occur when sufficient resources are free. Essentially, leveling solves a resource clash by manipulating time itself. If you don't have enough JCBs to knock out 2 excavation tasks today, leveling is going to force one of those tasks to just sit and wait until tomorrow. Now, inside your project management tool, usually tucked under the resource menu, there is this incredibly tempting button called Level All. And clicking it, it provides instant satisfaction. You watch your resource sheet clean itself up instantly. Every single red alert just vanishes. The overallocations are entirely gone. But listen, this peace of mind comes at a very real cost to your timeline. Let's move on to the major consequence of our actions and see how this plays out in the real world. Let's look at the impact on duration. Before we clicked that tempting button, back before we addressed the harsh reality that we were short on supervisors and excavators, we were looking at a 94-day schedule. This was our original, highly optimistic baseline. It looked absolutely beautiful on paper, assuming we had infinite resources. And here is the new reality: 99 days. By running that leveling process to respect our actual real-world resource limits, our finish date has officially been pushed out. We've just added a full 5 days to our project duration. Because those critical activities literally had to wait for resources to become available, the entire timeline had to stretch. So, you might be wondering, how exactly did those 5 days get added in? It's time to demystify the software's logic. Let's dive into analyzing the leveling Gantt. To see what actually happened behind the scenes, you need to switch your view over to the leveling Gantt chart. Now, notice how there are 2 bars for every task. That top gray bar represents your original 94-day baseline schedule. The bottom blue bar represents your leveled 99-day reality. By comparing the top gray bar to the bottom blue one, you can pinpoint exactly where time was manipulated to free up your heavy equipment and your supervisors. When we look really closely at those blue and gray bars, we can see the software used 3 very specific maneuvers to resolve those conflicts. First, stretching durations. For example, ordinary rock excavation took longer because we had fewer resources assigned to it each day. Second, splitting tasks. The earthwork activity was actually split right down the middle. Work started, they stopped to let a resource go handle something else, and then resumed it later. And finally, shifting activities entirely. Tasks like embankment construction and drainage work were just picked up and shifted entirely to a later date, just waiting for their turn with the JCBs and the dumpers. I absolutely love this point from our source material. If this project duration is fine with you, you can freeze this as a baseline. Otherwise, you'll have to keep on doing what-if analysis. The crucial takeaway here is that a 99-day schedule isn't mandatory, right? The software is just showing you the mathematical reality of your strict resource limits. If a 5-day delay is totally unacceptable to your client, well, you can't freeze this as your baseline. You have to keep analyzing. And that means utilizing a really powerful feature, clear leveling. If 99 days just doesn't work for you, you hit clear leveling to revert your schedule right back to that 94-day baseline, complete with all those glaring red overallocation alerts. Why do this? So you can explore other actual managerial solutions. Maybe you can't magically spawn a dumper out of thin air, but maybe you can pick up the phone, put some pressure on your external contractors, and demand they bring in extra equipment to keep you on schedule. Leveling is just a tool to show you the impact, but you, as the project manager, have to make the final call. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought. Take a hard look at the schedules you're managing right now. Are they genuinely realistic? Like, do they account for every single supervisor, piece of heavy machinery, and helper? Or is your beautifully aggressive timeline just an illusion, just waiting for reality and resource leveling to add 5 days to it? Understanding your true constraints really is the only way to manage a project that succeeds off the screen and in the real world. Thanks for hanging out and learning with me today, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.
If you want to master Microsoft Project with practical construction examples, join the online professional certificate course of AweNics. Learn from industry experts and build job-ready planning skills. Limited seats available. Join now.